She's zoned out.
Sorry, I couldn't see you. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Alright. By a show of hands, how many of you can confidently say that you've saved a life? Alright. Good for you. Now, how many of you can say that you've saved 8 lives? I didn't think so. So unless you are a firefighter, a police officer, maybe a doctor, it's really hard to save a life. But there is a way that you can save the life of 8 people and affect all of their family and friends. You can become an organ donor. So today I want to talk to you about why you should become an organ donor, how you register to become an organ donor, how the procedure works, and my personal reason for being one. Each year, 120,000 people die of liver and kidney disease. This is more than Alzheimer's, breast cancer, and prostate cancer. Both of these diseases can be, or you can have a transplant, which can then give you a chance to live longer. This is according to the American Transplant Foundation.org in 2017. According to that same source, 22 people die each day on the list waiting for a donation. What if you or your sibling was on this list, or your best friend? You'd want to donate to them. Now, in reality, every one of these recipients is somebody's best friend and somebody's family member. According to a U.S. Department of Health and Human Resources 2015 graph, the wait list and donor list is currently growing, but the wait list is growing at a faster pace than the donor list as medical research furthers. According to liveonnewyork.org in 2017, in their article about organ donation, one person can save 8 lives and donate to up to 50 different people. This is the average wait time for different transplants on the list, and as you can see, some are much longer than others. So sadly, a lot of people don't have this much time, and so they pass away well on the list waiting for a donor. So how to become an organ donor? There are 2 different ways that you can do it. You can do it online, or you can do it in person at your DMV. So if you do it online, you can log in, or you can type into Google, become organ donor, and this will redirect you to the U.S. government information on organ donation and transplantation. This takes about 7 minutes to basically type in your driver's license, I think your social security number and your name, and you pretty much are set and you're an organ donor. And on this website, you can also specify what it is that you would like to donate. You don't have to opt into donating everything in your body. If you were to pass away, you can donate certain parts. The second way to do it is just at your local DMV, and that also just takes a couple minutes of paperwork, and it's really simple and laid out for you. At any time, you can change your status of being an organ donor, which is just another thing to think about. So how does this procedure work? Well, first, according to the United Network of Organ Sharing in 2015, there was the first successful transplant. It was in 1954, and this was a kidney transplant. So you can be a living donation or a deceased donation, which is pretty self-explanatory. According to Kidney.org's Dr. Ed Krause in 2017, his article explains that the first step is a screening for your blood type. And so they check and see what type of blood you have and what type the recipient has, and if you guys match up. The second thing is tissue typing, and you see how similar your tissues are, and your ethnicity has to do with oftentimes how similar you're going to be to another person, and your family members are generally the most similar to your own tissue. And then lastly, they check for the amount of antibodies that you have in your body and their body, and this is affected by prior pregnancies, blood transfusions, and if you've had a transplant before. And then the next 3 steps are pretty self-explanatory. There's surgery on the donor, whether they're deceased or alive. They transport the organ, and then there's surgery on the recipient. So why am I an organ donor? In my sophomore year of high school, I met a girl named Rory. She was a transfer, and she would later become one of my best friends. And right before she transferred, her dad had undergone a transplant because he had cystic fibrosis, the same disease that killed her grandmother. And I didn't know this at first, but I later found out this is a genetic disease, and that the likelihood of Rory having the same disease is pretty high. She never went into much detail about it, but the more I learned, the more it inspired me to want to be an organ donor. If I were to pass away suddenly, I would like somebody else to be able to use my body parts to hopefully live longer. And lastly, you don't know who you're going to help sometimes if you pass away, but according to CNN.com in 2009, someone who we all have probably looked up to at some point for his advances in the scientific world is Steve Jobs, and he was a recipient. So that's just something to think about. You never know who you're going to help. It could be a small child. It could be someone who has made a huge difference in this world. So you could change the lives of 8 people. You could change the lives of 50 people. Someone you love has had an organ transplant or will need one at some point in time. And so just something to think about is April is National Donation Month. And so if any of you guys are interested, I highly recommend logging on into Google, just typing in donate organs, and I assure you it'll pop up. It'll take you to your state registry. It'll take about 7 minutes, and you could possibly save 8 people and affect their lives, their families' lives, and all of their friends' lives.